Hello and welcome to my course on how to read in French. Bonjour et bienvenue. Thank you for subscribing. This short course will help you to master the reading in French, the French alphabet and the phonetics in less than 1 hour. Too good to be true? Not really. Not only you will be able to read, but I also will give you some amazing advice so you can keep on learning French or any other foreign language you want. Who am I to assure you this? Well, let me introduce myself first. My name is Karina Vakova. I'm a Russian-speaking Armenian. I came to France when I was a high school teenager. I had to learn French really fast so I could finish my high school studies and start my graduate studies. In this course, I will always go straight to the point and teach you everything in practice, nothing too theoretical. Who has time for that, right? You may be wondering if I have become a language teacher or something. Well, I haven't. But during my studies, I was giving classes in foreign languages to many students. I actually became an IT engineer, and I'm also a mom of two. Nevertheless, my passion for foreign languages and teaching them is never fading. I'm sure I really can help you with that. I actually speak myself Russian, French, English, and Spanish. Well, do I have any accent in any of them? Of course I do. Do I ever make mistakes when I speak? Of course I do, and who doesn't? Nothing of this matters. What matters is being able to understand and to communicate and share ideas with people, right? This first tutorial is going to be only about reading. I always felt like when people learn a language for several years and can't read properly or pronounce properly, it feels like you miss something, right? Don't you think? Later on, I hope I will have time and maybe make a course even on grammar and vocabulary, go deeper. Well, let me know if you'd like a more complete course. And always, please feel free to ask questions, to make suggestions, or reach out. The most common questions always lead to another video. So I may release another video for you answering all these questions. Thank you for joining me. Wish you good luck and let's get started. Alright guys, so first of all, let's talk about the phonetics and the stress in French. For the stress, it's very easy. It's always at the end of the word, okay? On the last syllable. Consonants in French are soft. For example, in English, you would say baby, so it's hard. B. In French, the same word would sound like bébé, b, alright? So it goes for almost every consonant is always soft. When you have a vowel with M or N, at some point it becomes nasal. So how do you pronounce the nasal sounds? It's almost as if you're pinching your nose and trying to say the vowel in your nose. That's it. The R letter, R, is pronounced like inside your throat. You know, it's like as if you were saying the H, but like deep in your throat. Your tongue is resting next to your low teeth, so you don't roll the R and it becomes R. Okay. So in French you have combinations of letters that gives you different sounds depending if it's at the end of the word, before a consonant, before a vowel, etc. Also in French, you have accents. Uh, in this direction, in the other direction, the hat accent, accent circonflexe. This one is called accent grave. This one is called accent aigu, etc. And you also have the two dots and some letters that are linked together. So here you see the A and E letter linked together. All right. You also can find a letter with this part under it. So I will dive later into the meaning of that and why do we put it there. All right, so let's start. First letter A, B, C, D, E. E could have different sounds like more open, more open here. F, G, H. Very easy. H is never read. It's always mute. Maybe you have all already heard us French people speaking in English, and very often we eat the sound, you know, because in French we do not pronounce the letter H. I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. To pronounce the U, you make a duck face or you imagine you would drink with a straw. So you pull out your lips, they're almost completely closed, and you say U. All right? It could be written with accents too. V, W, X, Y, Z. So, French alphabet is based on the Latin alphabet. So here you go, you have the alphabet here. To remember the names, me and my daughter prepared for you, recorded for you a song, the ABC song for the French alphabet. So in the next section you can download it, the MP3 file, and listen to it. And at the end of the recording you even have the instrumental, the melodies by the piano, so you can even learn and practice by yourself, sing by yourself if you like singing. So see you in the next video. Let's start by talking about the reading rules. Dive into the main subject of this tutorial. So the letter E, the E letter, is never read, pronounced, is always silent at the end of the word, except when it's a one-syllable word, okay? For example, le, the article, me, te, you, ce, this. And same goes for consonants that are at the end of the word. They are always silent. If you have a consonant and then S at the end, the S will not be read, nor will be read the preceding consonant. So if you want the consonant to be read at the end of the word, you will have to have a vowel after it or the same consonant. For example, double M, etc. The reading rules are presented in the alphabetical order. So I decided to split the rules by letter. Okay, so the videos are going to be very short and you'll be able to go exactly at the video that you need and check and repeat again. Listen again to the same video. All right, so let's start by the letter A. A can be written without any accent, with the accent grave, or with the head, it's called accent circonflexe. Okay. When it's with the accent grave or accent circonflexe, A is a little bit more open, but it's almost the same sound, okay? La, a, age. Okay? La, a, age. AI, accent circonflexe, is read like E, open E, okay? So, maître. A-I-L, A-I, double L-E, is written like I, because A-I, E-L, E-L-L-E is read like Y, okay? So you read A like A, and the end, E-L and E-double-L-E, like Y. Easy, okay? So a combination of these letters and these 4 letters give you Y. For example, travail, work. Paille, straw, okay? Next, as I told you, when you have a vowel after the letter M, you pronounce the M, okay? So it gives you A-I gives you E, goes after M a vowel. It sounds like M, like in this phrase, j'aime, j'aime, I like, I love, j'aime. So the E at the end you don't read, M you read because there is a vowel, and AI gives you E. Easy. But if the same combination goes after, at the end of the word, then as if you were eating the M, right? It becomes nasal. Or if it's before a consonant, if it goes before the consonant, it also becomes nasal, all right? So the sound would be un. So faim, hunger, faim. J'ai faim, I'm hungry, faim. Same goes exactly for the IEN. It becomes nasal before a consonant or at the end of the word. Exactly the same. So, vaincre, main. Here it's before the C, la lettre C. So it becomes nasal, and here it's at the end of the word, main, meaning hand. So it becomes nasal too. Very similar sound. Exactly the same, actually. Okay, so here, A-I-N-E. So E is a vowel, meaning that you have to read the N, right? So A-I, we know, gives you E, so it becomes N. Len. Okay? A-M before a vowel, or M, you pronounce the M, so it gives you am. Lam, gram. A-M before a consonant, so as it's before the consonant, you kind of eat the M, so it becomes nasal. Lampe, lampe. Same goes for an. If it's before a vowel or the same n, it gives you an. You pronounce the n then. Caniche, can. Here you go. You have double n, and here you have a vowel e. So caniche, can. An before a consonant, and at the end of the word, the same as am, it becomes nasal. Tente, écran. Gives you on. Okay, exactly the same sound as you can see. Okay, another one. AU gives you O. Always. Combination of A and U gives you O. Like in this word. Chaud. You don't read the last D because it's consonant at the end, so it gives you chaud. See, CH gives you sh. We're gonna see that a bit later. So chaud. AY before a consonant gives you A. Okay? A. Pays. You don't read the S. It's a consonant. Okay? So, Pays, it's a country. But A and Y before a vowel gives you A. Not AE, but A. Shorter. Okay? So, payer. It's as if you were linking the two vowels. Okay? Payer. You don't read the R after the vowel. We're gonna check this later. So that is it for the A letter and its combinations. Okay, in this video we will check how to read the combinations of the letter B and the letter C. Okay, B, C. Okay, so B and double B gives you B. So bon, AB. Okay, just one sound, B, not two. Bon, AB. B at the end of the word is, no surprise, silent because it's a consonant, right? I think you can distinguish the consonant and the vowel, right? Vowels you can sing. A, O, U, E. You open the mouth and you can sing them like A, O, U, E. And the consonants you cannot pronounce without closing your mouth. So this is the difference. Plomb, you don't pronounce the B, le B is silent. Colon, colon. So, or M also becomes nasal. Remember, the M before the consonant, which is not itself, becomes nasal. You kind of eat the M. All right, let's check the combination for the letter C. So, C before E, I, Y is read like S. So, C, ciel, cycle. C before O, A, O, U, and the consonant gives you K sound, okay? Car, comme, cure, cloche. C at the end of the word gives you K sound, sac. And C is silent at the end of the word in these words. For example, you have these examples: tabac, tobacco, porc, the pig, estomac, stomach, franc, sincere, blanc, white. So try to remember these words, they are exceptions. So if you want any way to read the C like S, but before, for example, the O letter, what should you do? You put this sign under the S. It's called C, cedilla, cedilla. All right? For example, in the word français, français, French, or the word like garçon, meaning a boy. CH gives you sh. Remember, H is never read, but the combination with the C gives you sh. Chaise, AI give you E. And later I will explain you how to read the S. So chaise, you don't read the E at the end. Letter E is silent. CK gives you K. Ticket, the ticket. And that's it for the combinations for the letters B and C. So in this one, we'll be talking about the combinations for the letter D and the letter E. D, E, okay, equivalents in English. Okay, D or double D gives you the, date, addition. All right. E before a pronounced consonant at the end of the word and before the silent T, silent T, at the end of the word is written like E, open E. Before a pronounced consonant at the end of the word and before the silent T, okay, gives you E. For example, belle, cadet. You do not pronounce the T. So it gives you cadet, okay? E before one or two consonants at the middle of the word and at the end of one syllable word gives you E. Look at this one. So, venir. It's before a consonant, all right? Here it's just one, the N, and it's in the middle of the word. Okay, next one. Secret. Here you have CR, two consonant, and in the middle of the word, so you read it like E. Secret, the secret. Je, it's a one syllable word. Je, me, te, always E in the one syllable word. E at the end of the word before a silent consonant, except T, gives you E, more closed one. So, at the end of the word before a silent consonant, except the letter T. Mais, chez, aller, pied. Okay? So, these are all silent consonants, so you read it like the closed, more closed sound E. E is silent at the end of the word, as I've already told you, and before silent S. So you read like this. Bonne, bonne, right? You do not read the S, it's a plural form of bonne, so you don't read the E either. Then you have E written with accents. This one that goes from right to the left, the direction is accent aigu, so it gives you the sound more close, like E. E, T, summer, okay? In the other direction is the E accent grave, and it gives you an E more open, okay? Like in this word, frère, frère, brother. Okay, and This one is exactly the same sound, more open, like tête, the head, okay? Remember, AU was giving you O. Well, if you have the E before, it also gives you O, okay? So, eau, water, beaucoup, meaning much. All right, next. Remember, I told you EL, E-double-L gives you Y. Okay, so you read the E like A, open A, okay? So it gives you A. Soleil, vieille, sun, old, okay? But if the same combination is after U, it makes you read it œil, okay? Like accueil, cueillir. Not A, but œil, all right? Before the vowel U. So, nasal sounds. E-I-N before a consonant and at the end of the word. You know that the N will not be read, it's gonna become nasal. So, what it gives is the sound an. So, tin, okay? But when you double the N of the M, you pronounce the M. So it gives you M, okay? The E is read like E. Remember, I told you before a pronounced consonant, well, at the end of the word, you read it like E, okay? It's the same here. Before a consonant, M, but as it's read, because it's doubled, then it gives you E, open E, M, okay? Dilemme. Okay, another kind of exception. En before M in adverbs ending by E, double M, ENT, and in femme, it gives you an. Okay? Not M, but an. Évidemment, that verb, obviously, and femme, a woman. All right, next. En before a consonant and at the end of the word. Remember, N before a consonant and at the end of the word becomes nasal. So you read it like en. It gives you encore. It's as if you were pinching your nose, right? Encore. More. En before N gives you N is read, so you read it like n. Okay? Antenne. Antenne. En after E at the end of the word also becomes nasal. One more time. En after E, vowel E. Bien, good. Vient, he comes, okay? U before a pronounced consonant except Z is written like E. So you read it Europe, heureuse, jeune, like E. But at the end of the word and before Z is written like E, more a longer sound, you know. Listen. Heureuse, peu, bleu. You kind of pull your lips as if you were almost about to start drinking with a straw, you know? So, heureuse, peu, bleu. And the opposite, jeune, heureuse, Europe. Right? You see, it's kind of shorter. E, U, accent circonflexe. E, U with a hat, okay? Gives you also the same sound, a little bit longer. Jeune, okay? E and Y gives you A. Remember? Asseyez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Gives you A. That's it for the combination for the letters E and D. D. Okay, here we're gonna see the combinations for F, G, and H. F, double F, is red F, like F. So, frère, effet. Remember, E before T, just to remind you. E before a silent T at the end of the word is written like E. Okay, here we go. Effet. Okay. F is silent at the end of the word because it's consonant. No surprise. So, clé, nerf, serre. Okay, G is kind of similar to the C. So, before the E, Y. Remember, letter C was always before E, Y or A, O, U. Okay, so the same goes here for the letter G. Before E, Y, it's written like in the alphabet. So, J gives you beige, gilet, gymnastique, and before A, O, U, the consonant or H, it gives you hard sound like G. Gare, gauche, grand, ghetto. Double G before A, O, and the consonant gives you G too. Well, G by itself it's consonant, so it will give you the sound G. Aggravé, but there is an exception. When it's before the E, double G gives you G, okay? G before a consonant, before a vowel E gives you J, but G before a consonant, G becomes G, hard. So it's gonna be G, J, okay? G, suggérer before the E. And when it's a consonant, so G before a consonant, well, it itself, it gives you G. Here it's a consonant, it gives you G. Before A, O, it gives you G too. So it's logical, it becomes aggravé. And here, G before E gives you J. And G before G, it's a consonant, gives you G. So G, suggérer. Okay? So very simple. GN, it's a bit different. N is a consonant, but GN, the association of two, gives you N. Compagne. Okay? GU, before EIY, gives you G. Okay? As here we told you G before AOU also gives you G. With U, it becomes G. You don't read the U, okay? The letter U is silent before G. So it before EIY. So it gives you guerre, guichet. Okay? Guerre, guichet. Okay, and something very easy, H is always silent. Au, haricot, heure, dehors. Okay? So that's it for this 3 letters. See you in the next video. In this video, we are gonna only talk about the E letter. So it can be written like E with a dot or with a hat. E accent circonflexe. And it's written E. Okay? V, il. V, it's life, and il, island. E before a pronounced vowel gives you y. Okay? So, miel. EL at the end of the word, preceded by a vowel, also becomes y. Remember? Travail, conseil. EL becomes y if it's preceded by a vowel. After a vowel, it becomes y. So remember, we've already seen that. So here A is read like A. A is read by the E letter is read like E, gives you travail and conseil. E double L after consonant becomes I. So fille, billet, right? Because you will not be able to read it if you are not pronouncing the E, right? It's kind of logical. So of course you will have to read the E. E double L after consonant in the following words becomes il, mille, ville, tranquille, and their derived words. Mille, thousand, ville, a city, and tranquille, meaning calm. E double L after vowel becomes y, same like EL after vowel, the same. Médaille, remember we already seen that. A, E double L, E. Okay, E double L at the beginning of the word becomes il with double L, so illégal. At the beginning, of course, you will have to read the E. If not, you're not going to understand the word, right? So, and as it's double L, you read il légal, okay? EM before a vowel and M, you know that you pronounce the M, so it becomes im. Crime, immeuble. EM before a consonant, M before a consonant becomes nasal, so it becomes en. So, simple. EN before a vowel and N, you pronounce the N, it becomes in, so finir, to end. EN before a consonant and at the end of the word, you know that N, you kind of eat it at the end and before a consonant, it becomes nasal, so en, intelligent, fin, okay? Intelligent, fin. And that's it for the combinations with the letter E. Now let's see for the letter G, K, L, and double L. Okay. G is read like J. Déjà. Why we don't have the G letter here? Because G before A gives you G. So if you want to have the sound J, you have no choice. You will have to put the G. K gives you K, so képi. L and double L gives you L, so lune, aller. Moon and aller meaning go, to go. Okay, this video is going to be short. See you in the next one. In this video, we're gonna see the combinations of the letters with the letter M and N. They're very similar. Okay, So M before a vowel and M is pronounced and the sound is M. So mère, mother, comme, as. M before a consonant and at the end of the word becomes nasal. It's kind of, as I've always told you, it's kind of eaten, right? So becomes nom, second name, timbre, timbre, stamp, and lampe, lamp. Double M, when it's double, then you pronounce it, even if it's a consonant by itself, but you pronounce it. So comme, as. N before a vowel and N is pronounced like in itself. N, n, nul, panne, double N, nous, nous, nanny. M before a consonant at the end of the word, as the M is eaten, is nasal. So, enfant, meaning baby, mon, mine. So double N reinforce the N, becomes stronger, so now it's pronounced like N, it becomes bonne. Alright, that's it. See you in the next video. In this video, we will see combinations for the letter O. There are quite some. So, O before a pronounced consonant, except the Z, becomes O, short one, O. So, porte, short O, porte. Before Z, and at the end of the word, before a silent consonant, becomes O, a more long O, because so it becomes chose before a consonant. Here the sound is Z, so chose. Moto at the end of the word, moto, and mo, okay? Before a silent consonant here, the T is not read, so mo. Same goes with when you have the hat. When you have the hat, imagine you are like an aristocrat or something, you know. So you pronounce it like very long sound always, no matter which letter you have, which vowel. If you have a hat, it's always accent circonflexe, it's always longer. So rôle, okay. O and E with accent circonflexe give you wa. This one you have to learn by heart. So wa, poil. O linked to E, EL or double L gives you œil. Œil, it's an eye, and œillet. So linked O, E with U before a pronounced consonant gives you E, okay, meaning sœur. So you do not read the U, the U, okay? It becomes sœur, same sound. Okay. O linked to E with U at the end of the word, it's E, like veut, ne, okay? Bit shorter. OI accent circonflexe gives you wa. Same like here, wa. OI and OE give you wa. Loi, law, boîte, box. OM before a vowel and M. Remember, M is confirmed when it has the M, so it sounds like M, and after a vowel also it feels stronger, so you pronounce it, okay? So homme, Homme, meaning man. OM before a consonant at the end of the word becomes nasal because of the M before a consonant becoming nasal. It gives you tombe, mon, okay? ON before a vowel and N, same thing like with OM, it becomes stronger and you pronounce the N, it becomes on, bon, okay? ON before a consonant or at the end of the word, no secret, becomes nasal, you eat the N, so it becomes contre, ton. OU, with or without the accent, becomes U. Becomes OU, sorry. OU becomes OU. Roux, OU, where? Goût, taste. Roux, it's the will. OU before a pronounced vowel becomes W. So oui, meaning yes, and louer, meaning to rent. O and Y gives you why. Nettoyer. So C O E O E O Y gives you like wa, and with Y you read it like ya, so it gives you nettoyer. Okay, why? Because you have to link, right? Wa with e, right? So it becomes ye, nettoyer. That's it. It's kind of logical. Try to pronounce it, you'll see it's very logical. Okay, see you in the next video. And in this video, we will check the letter P, Q, and R. Okay? So P and double P gives you P, père, nap, père, the father. Okay? PH gives you F, téléphone, easy. Q gives you K, so 5, 5. Q and U gives you K. You do not pronounce the U. So, quoi, que. Remember, AE gives you E and OE gives you wa. So, let's talk about the R. R is when you try to say you do not roll it at all. You pronounce it as if you were saying the H sound, or the letter H, but like deep in your throat almost. R, 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 R. Your tongue is relaxed. It's like under your lower teeth, so you do not anything with your tongue. It's R, 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 R. Okay, it's in your throat. So R and double R gives you R. So cher, arrêt. R is silent at the end of polysyllabic words after E. So if you have several syllables, more than one, because here you had E, but this was just one syllable because you had one vowel. One syllable, one vowel. More than one vowel, polysyllabic, gives you the R, which becomes silent. Okay? So, aller, A-E, two syllables, two vowels, two syllables. After E, R is silent. Aller. Financier. I-A-I-E, four vowels, so polysyllabic. And it becomes financier. And that's it for this video. In this video, we will talk about the letter S and the letter T. Double S is read sans, sac, passé. You read S between two vowels as Z, even if it's between two vowels in two separate words. I'm gonna dive into this in details in the reading exercise at the end when we're gonna read the dialogue. So, S between two vowels becomes Z, rose. Okay, you don't say rose. Okay, you say rose. S is silent at the end of the word. Pas, très. And very often S is a plural form of many words and you never read it. Okay? And for let T, double T, don't, attaquer. TH, H is mute, so T, T at the end of the word before IE, ION, IEL give you the sound S. Okay? IE, ION, IEL. Démocratie, attention, essentiel. T is silent at the end of the word. Why? Because it is a consonant, of course. Taux, aéroport. Okay, see you in the next video. In this video, we're going to talk about the letter U. U with or without the accent gives you U. Tu, sur. U before a pronounced vowel gives you U, tu. So it's nuit, like it's a very short one, okay? Nuit. Remember, EI, EI is œil. Okay, so accueil. Here you could also if you think about it, say before U gives you quand, okay? U, it's U, okay? EEL, it's A, right? So you cannot say AQA, right? It's very hard. So you mash them together, so it becomes œil, becomes accueil. Okay, U, M at the end of the word, except in the word parfum, gives you homme with a short O. So album. UM at the end of the word, exception for this word which is parfum and which becomes nasal. Okay, so parfum. UN before a vowel or N is going to be pronounced, and U is U, becomes lune. UN before a consonant at the end of the word, and before a consonant and at the end of the word becomes nasal, so un. Emprunter. Un. Okay. Un is the article e. Emprunter meaning to rent. Okay, see you in the next video. In this video, we're going to talk about the letter V and the W. V is written V, like vent. UN becomes nasal before the consonant, and T at the end is a consonant that is silent, so vent. W is written like vent, wagon, wagon, but in words that came from English, you read it like w, like in English. So weekend, whiskey. See you in the next video. Okay, in this video we're gonna talk about the letter X. So it's read like X, fixé, index, but there is an exception in numbers like 6, 10, 60, 60, and the capital of the Belgium, Bruxelles. It is pronounced as just like S, not X, okay? In numbers, X before I-E-M-E, M accent grave, it's pronounced like Z. So, de, E-U like E, zième, okay? Deuxième, the second, okay? X after E at the beginning of the word gives you X, okay? Examen after E at the beginning of the word. Exiger, okay? X in the following words is read like S, as I have already told you. 6, 10, 60, Bruxelles. X is silent at the end of the word. Why? Because it's consonant, right? P, peace, okay? La P. A-I is A, X is a consonant, and it's not written. Okay, and we'll end up with Y, Y in French. It's written like I, jury. YM before a consonant and at the end of the word, MN becomes nasal, so it's un, becomes sympathie, syndicat, okay? Z is read like Z, so zero. Z is silent at the end of the word because it's a consonant, and you read it like ne, alright? So, to sum up, consonants that are silent at the end of the word, and their plural form too, so the S also after this consonant will be silent. Okay, so what are those consonants? B, C, D, F, G, L, P, S, T, X, Z. All these consonants are silent at the end of the word. And here you go. We're done with all the rules in French reading. See you in the next video for the reading exercise. Let's read together a dialogue and then talk about the rules, the reading rules, and recall them together so you could be able to figure out the next time you have to read anything in French. Bonjour. Bonjour, une baguette s'il vous plaît. Quelle cuisson s'il vous plaît? Bien cuite. 98 centimes s'il vous plaît. Merci. Je vous en prie. Il vous fallait autre chose? Non, ce sera tout, merci. Avec plaisir. Passez une bonne journée. À bientôt. Au revoir. Merci à vous aussi. Au revoir. Merci. Alright, so remember what we told. ON before a consonant gives you a nasal sound on. So bon. J, O-U gives you OU, and R is read at the end if it's not after the E. Okay, except for the one syllable words like cher. Okay, so bonjour. Une, N is read because there is the vowel at the end. This vowel is silent and helps the N to become stronger and to be pronounced, right? So, une. Next one, baguette. So, you remember G-U gives you G, okay? Because if there was no U, you would read it baguette, okay? But you want to say baguette, you want to put the G sound, so you put the U. So U is going to be silent, but it just makes G give the sound G. Baguette, so you read the T, okay? And at the end, you do not read the E, is silent. So, baguette. S'il, vous, again, OU gives you OU, plaît, AI gives you A, T is not read. QU gives you K, so quel, L is pronounced, so quel, E is not pronounced, C before the U gives you K, so cuit, double S gives you S, cuit, son, O-N at the end gives you nasal one. Cuisson. Okay. S'il vous plaît. N, I-E-N becomes bien, nasal, remember? Here, cuite, T is pronounced because of the vowel E that reinforces it, but stays silent. So, cuite. Here, QU, again, K, quatre. EN before a consonant becomes nasal, so 20. You don't read the T at the end, consonant is silent. 18. You say 18, okay, like Z, 18. Centime, here it's nasal because before the consonant T, so centime, you pronounce the M, you do not say it nasally because you have the E, the vowel. S is for a plural form at the end, the consonant is not read, so centime, s'il vous plaît. Merci, je vous en prie. En prie, why? Because S between two vowels, even if it's in separate words, is pronounced like Z. So you link them together. Je vous en prie. Not pronouncing the E at the end, the same rule as we already told before. Next one. Il vous fallait autre chose. So, il, easy. Vous, do not pronounce the S. Fallait, AI becomes E, T is silent. AIO, autre, chose. CH becomes sh, so chose. S before two vowels becomes Z. Non, nasal. C before A or U becomes K, but as we wanted to pronounce like so, you put this sign here. You also have the word sa with an S, but the meaning is going to be different. So sa, this, meaning this. If you put the S, you write it with the S and A, the meaning of the word changes. It means her. Okay, her, hers. Okay, sera. Okay, sera. Remember let's recall quickly. E before one or two consonants in the middle of the word and at the end of one syllable word becomes E. So here it's before one consonant, the consonant is R, so R becomes sera. Tout. OU gives you OU, et T is silent. Merci. Avec, you pronounce the C, avec. Plaisir, you pronounce the R because it's not after the E, S becomes Z between two vowels, two E's, and AI gives you E, open E, so avec plaisir. Passer, une, Z is silent, okay. Remember why it's written E. E at the end of the word before a silent consonant, except T, is written E. So here you go. Z is a silent. So at the end, before a silent consonant, except the T, here it's Z, it's not T, so it's become passé. It's closed E. Une bonne, N is reinforced, so it's not a nasal. It becomes bonne, you pronounce E silent. Jour, O-U-U, journée. E accent aigu, E closed, and last one is not pronounced. A, here, bien, nasal, bien, tout. T is not pronounced. O, easy, A-U-O. Here, E before a consonant. One or two consonants in the middle of the word gives you E. So, re. O-I gives you wa. So it becomes revoir. R is pronounced because it's not at the end after E. Okay, here if after E. So here it's E, French E or I in English, so it's pronounced au revoir. Goodbye. Merci, thank you. À vous aussi. You link them together, becomes Z. So vous aussi, A-U becomes O, S-I. À vous aussi. Again, au revoir, merci. Here you go. So, if you would like to keep on learning French, I would like to list some French grammar's particularities. So, French language has two genders, feminine and masculine. Sometimes it is not very easy to figure out. So you even need to check in the dictionary. There are some rules, but honestly, you just know the gender when you listen to the speech very, very often, so it becomes natural. But if not, you just check in the dictionary and that's it. It's a little bit tricky. So the adjectives will be accordingly to the gender, changing their ending to, right? Something that many people fear are the verbs tenses, the conjugaison. So you have the past simple for books, like only in classics, that you never talk like this. There are several ways of several tenses that are only used in books. So you should first concentrate on something that you will use in everyday life, honestly. Of course, the present, the near future, the future, and then you have something conditional, subjunctive, and imperfect. When you know the rules, the meaning, why, when, and why they're used, it's not that complicated. Of course, you have some exceptions, some groups of verbs that are different, but I think the more you're gonna again listen and read, it's gonna become natural. At the beginning, you can learn general rules for tenses for the verbs, and then you can also learn by heart some mainly used verbs, and it's gonna be fairly enough for you at the beginning. You also have the articles, like in English, but a little bit trickier, maybe a little bit. Really, French is particularity of this language is that it's very exact, very strict. So you will not have any doubt about the meaning of what the person say. So the articles also play a role in this case. Depending on what article you're gonna put, it's gonna really give you the meaning of the sentence. So there are also rules that you can learn about the articles and how to use them, and when you're gonna speak better, it becomes natural to. Written and oral languages are different. You do not write the same way as you speak, so it can be a little bit frustrating for foreigners. But with time, you start distinguishing very familiar expressions and like very oral expressions and those that can be written. If you want to write well, you need to read more. As simple as that. If you want to speak well, you have to listen to people speaking. And that's it. See you in the next video, where I will give you some tips and tricks, personal ones that help me to learn French and the other foreign languages. See you in the next video. Okay guys, so let's finally talk about how to learn any foreign language you want. I want to give you my personal tips and tricks that helped me to learn several foreign languages, and especially French when I came to France. So what I can tell you is that if you want to speak French or any other foreign language, you have to listen, 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 and listen. You have to keep the radio or the music in this language on all the time, put it in the background, so unconsciously you will be able to get used to the phonetics, the sounds, and start by distinguishing the sounds, then the words, then the phrases, etc., etc. Train your brain unconsciously like this, and your ears. Also, by listening, you will improve dramatically your pronunciation. The more you listen, the more you will be able to improve your pronunciation. Even without pronouncing, you will see that you will be able to pronounce better. So if you love music, create a playlist of some popular songs with not too complicated words and listen to it all the time when you're in your car, when you're in the public transport or whatever, when you're working. If you can, try almost every day. If you want to learn fast, almost every day, try to listen unconsciously every day. Then I would suggest that you would choose some TV show that you already know in your language, in your native language, that you know the meaning, that you know what it is about. So you put it first with the subtitles in your native language, so you could be able to understand. And once you've done that, and you start to understand a little bit more the language you are learning, you remove all the subtitles, and even the subtitles in the language you are learning. I think I think it's better if you concentrate on what people say in the situation, and try to understand by ear, because when you're going to be in real life, no one will be with a paper or something written next to them, right? Well, you can put subtitles in the language you're learning for example, if you really do not understand the word, you want to know how it's spelled and find it in the dictionary, or you cannot distinguish very well the word, and this is when you will have to put it. But generally, train yourself to be able to understand the meaning of the phrase just by hearing one or two words. Try to train yourself by guessing, okay? And the unconscious training will be able to keep going, because your brain will start to associate the words and the expressions with the situations you are looking at. So very important to look at what you are saying, not just try to read the subtitles, right? So just remove them and be concentrated. I think with 1 hour per week, you're gonna make dramatic progress. It will be enough. If you're a busy person, just 1 hour per week, try it, and you'll see you're gonna be able to understand way better, I assure you. I think that movies at the beginning can be a bit trickier to understand. TV shows have too many dialogues, like simple dialogues. They're showing a day-to-day life. So for me, I would start with TV shows and then go by watching the movies. Also, try to find something that you really love, the topics you love, and maybe find the dedicated YouTube channels, or maybe even Instagram channels, and follow them and try to watch them regularly, um, in the language that you are learning, of course. Well, and of course, if you want to progress and start speaking, you will have to stop making the main error we all do when we start learning. It's the translation of the whole phrase in your head, word by word, the literal translation. Well, it's natural because we're thinking in our native language. So, of course, when you're thinking about something, the phrase is already here, and you start by translating, and you hope that the meaning of what you've said is going to make sense to the people in front of us. But, of course, we know that there are so many expressions that just can't be translated at all. It's like translating humor. It's almost impossible, you know. It's complicated. Sometimes you just play on the expressions that are purely in that language. So what you can do to avoid that and stop losing your time and be boring during the conversation is try to stop yourself. Make a gymnastic by stopping yourself. I don't want to make a phrase. I just have to think in terms of ideas. What I want to talk about. Okay, weather. Okay, another word, rain. Okay, and then put the energy and the time you're thinking in trying to recall the small sentences, phrases, or words that you have already heard. So the sentence you're going to make is going to be much more realistic and natural and comprehensive for people in front of you. And you'll see that you're going to speed up your speech and the conversation by that. And so your brain will stop translating and will be able to recall only the things that you have already heard. So think in terms of ideas and then try to recall what you have already heard or listened from the native speakers. And of course, don't be afraid of making mistakes. You know, learning the language is not very simple. Not everybody knows more than their native language. So you have the courage to start learning something new. So put your energy and effort in learning it. And who doesn't do mistakes, make mistakes? The one that does nothing right, but even doing nothing is a mistake, right? By learning a language, a foreign language, you train your brain. It's very good for your brain. You meet amazing people. You find new opportunities. They find you by themselves once you know the language. If not, you make new opportunities for yourself, meeting people, of being able to watch things in the native language and read them in the native language without translation, understanding the beauty of this language, the subtle meaning of expressions. Well, you can conversate with people, speak with people. So it's great. It's great. I think it's never a waste of time. You could sing in this language. It's amazing. If you want to improve your reading, maybe you could start by short stories for children or tales, because they're known all over the world. They're the same. You just have the translated one for yourself in the language that you're learning, and maybe then later you can start something. The books, like very popular books, that you could read in one evening. The novels. So you read them in like fantasy or something, and maybe later you start by classics. Sometimes classics could be a bit harder because they have many words that you do not use anymore, or like very high and beautiful high-end language, and very well, it's beautiful, but sometimes it could be tricky to start by classics, and well, you will not be able to speak using the same words, so try something like simple so you could directly put it in practice, right? And then with time, you will be able to repress the classics and whatever you want. Always try to find something that is fun for you, that you love, that you already know, and then try it in this language, and later you can go on with something purely cultural, and maybe something that were a bit complicated for you. All right, so I hope that you loved this course. Please let me know, send me a review, or ask me questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. And then if you want something more on grammar or vocabulary or whatever, if you loved the way I was teaching you, please let me know. I will try to maybe to make, if I have many people asking me, I'll maybe make a more complete course. And also, thank you again, and yeah, hope see you in another tutorial. Thank you. Au revoir.